minoxidil works, but we already know, for the most part, how minoxidil works. We're talking about whether or not minoxidil has alleged anti-androgen effects, because it seems as if some people are going around and stating this. So let's sit down and address this. Unlike finasteride or other anti-androgens, minoxidil's known mechanism does not involve altering hormonal levels, and it primarily acts as a vasodilator and, as I mentioned before, a potassium channel opener or activator. But some research has hypothesized that minoxidil might also exhibit anti-androgen effects. Androgens like dihydrotestosterone, also known as DHT, play a central role in pattern hair loss, largely mediated by the enzyme 5-alpha-reductase, which comes in three types, but mostly we're concerned about type 1 and type 2. 5-alpha-reductase converts free testosterone to the more potent DHT that I mentioned before, which we all know is horrible for our hair follicles if we have the genetics for androgenetic alopecia. If minoxidil had an anti-androgen property, say for example inhibiting 5-alpha-reductase or blocking the androgen receptor, then this could be another avenue in which it's combating hair loss. So what studies actually show minoxidil has this sort of anti-androgen activity, and are those studies even valid? The study titled, quote, "Minoxidil acts as an anti-androgen, a study of 5-alpha-reductase type 2 gene expression in human keratinocyte cell line," unquote, by Erkin Pesmezi et al., 2017. This in vitro study treated human keratinocyte cell line, being HACAT cells, with minoxidil to assess any changes in 5-alpha-reductase type 2 gene expression. The researchers observed a significant downregulation of 5-alpha-reductase type 2 gene expression. The cells treated with minoxidil resulted in a 78% reduction compared to the control, so the cells that weren't exposed to minoxidil. The authors interpreted this as an, quote, anti-androgenic effect, unquote, of minoxidil at the molecular level, since lowering 5-alpha-reductase type 2 would theoretically reduce DHT production. And from here, they proposed that this sort of downregulation in keratinocytes may be one of minoxidil's sort of mechanisms of action in alopecia, specifically androgenetic alopecia. But we need to be careful here because people will take this study and run off to the hills. Let's remember that this is an in vitro study, not in vivo. So in vitro involves isolated cells in a specific context, right? We're looking at these cells in a petri dish. They're not in a complex cellular environment where they would normally be getting cues from other cells. And that may very well change their behavior. Not only that, but this specific cell, the keratinocytes, the HACAT cells, are an immortalized skin keratinocyte line. They are not normal human hair follicle cells by any means. So they may very well act different compared to actual human hair follicle cells, whether those cells are in vivo and in vitro. So yeah, it may be happening to this specific cell line. This is nowhere transferable to actual human hair follicle cells in vivo.